Hello, Wrestle Lovers. Welcome to Wrestle Love Podcast. Back to you today, guys, with another video. Guys, we are here reviewing Full Gear. What happened last night, took place last night. We're here to review it, and we're going to try to get through it as fast as possible so that the video won't last long. Guys, the first thing we're going to get into, we're going to start with the 0 hour, the pre-show. Started off with the 10-man tag, The Factory versus Orange Cassidy, Rocky Romero, the Best Friends, and a mystery partner, which we all knew was Danhausen, but it was a dark version this time, like Dark Hausen, Evil Hausen, whatever you want to call it. But we're gonna skip to the finish. Danhausen put a jar of teeth in the mouth of Rocky Romero, then blasted it out, kicked it, and they scored the victory. So, the Best Friends, Danhausen, Orange Cassidy, Rocky Romero, they defeated the Factory. Now, after that, we had a backstage promo. Takeshita had said, like, as he was a kid, he dreamed about, like, his dream was to wrestle in America, and he's all elite, and he fully moved to America to be in AEW. So yeah, that is awesome. Next match, we have the Full Gear World Title Tournament semifinals between Ricky Starks, and Brian Cage.
So Starks was selling a rib injury caused by Lance Archer and Cage just 24 hours ago on Rampage. Cage went in for the F5, but it was reversed by Starks into the Canadian Destroyer, and then captured the win over Cage with the Rochambeau. Now, Starks will move on to face Ethan Page in the World Title Eliminator Tournament Final.
On this week's Dynamite, the version is like the Thanksgiving Eve version of Dynamite this Wednesday. So yeah, whoever wins that match will go on to Winter is Coming to face MJF for the world title.
Ooh, we know what we're doing Wednesday.
We're gonna be watching that match.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Next match, Eddie Kingston versus
Eddie Kingston versus Jun Akiyama. After having an emotional promo, Kingston brought that same sentiment into the ring where he unleashed his emotions on Akiyama. The two exchanged chest-reddening blows and tossed each other around with exploder suplexes. Kingston withstood a kick from Akiyama as he blasted him with a back fist for the victory. Kingston made a tearful show of respect to Akiyama as he mentioned that when he was only 18 years old, he first saw Akiyama wrestle, and at that moment he was certain that he wanted to use that style of wrestling himself. So I thought that was really interesting. That was a really cool moment last night.
This is his dream opponent, guys, that we're talking about. So now we're getting into the Full Gear main match card, starting off with the steel cage match between Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
These two tag team partners and champions were influenced by the deceitful Christian Cage, which led to a grudge match in a steel cage between these two childhood friends. Luchasaurus was leading the action early on, and the referee tried to buy time for the bloody Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. Christian Cage was escorted to the back by security, but Luchasaurus held his own and remained on top. Then the match took a turn with a massive destroyer. Chairs and tables came into play as Jungle Boy was forced to fight from underneath. He delivered an elbow drop from the top of the cage, which was crazy.
That was a good spot.
The crowd went wild.
Yeah, I'm talking about my man Jungle Boy climbing to the top of the cage and hitting an elbow drop right through the table. on Luchasaurus into the
into a snare trap. I'm sorry. To put Luchasaurus into submission for the win. What a match!
Yeah.
Just to just to start the
off
evening
with,
off.
Next match, we have the AEW Trios Championship match between the Elite and the Death Triangle.
So, Kansas's song, Carry On My Wayward Son, played during a much anticipated return of the Elite to the AEW World Trios Championship against Death Triangle, making us question how much Tony Khan might have paid to use that song since it's so popular. The high-flying and party style of AEW's trios matches was ever present here as Kenny Omega, Matt and Nick Jackson challenged Pac, Rey Fenix, and Penta El Zero Miedo. The Elite were dominating early on, but then Death Triangle caught up. That is until a tag to Omega brought the Elite back on top. Pac tried to put his evil influence on Phoenix, but Phoenix refuses to turn. He refuses to use the Timekeeper's hammer. So after a hard fight, Phoenix finally gives in to Pac's evil influence by hitting Omega on the head with the hammer to secure the win and retain the titles. Death Triangle's win was a complete shock to us.
Yeah, we definitely thought the Elite was winning since this was their return, and just like that being a return, I'm like, yeah, they definitely getting the titles back. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, and we thought for sure that the Elite's win was a predetermined certainty for their comeback match. Death Triangle's win showcased Phoenix's internal struggle and furthers Phoenix's and Pac's storyline of good versus evil. So that was a really interesting dichotomy in that match. Just seeing Pac against Phoenix, going back and forth.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see.
He finally got him to use the hammer. How he always was like, hey, this is the way to win by any means necessary. You need to win by using his hammer. And he clocked Kenny Omega right on top of the head as Kenny Omega was going into the one-winged angel, and clocked him in the head, got the a pin, and he won. Next match is the TBS champion match between Jade Cargill and Nyla Rose.
So Nyla Rose challenged Jade Cargill in a way no other opponent has done so far, certainly giving Cargill a run for her money. On many occasions throughout the match, it looks as though Rose would get her victory. However, Cargill withstood her own jaded finisher that Rose used against her. This match was very messy throughout. It looked as though maybe they weren't on the same page.
Yeah,
throughout.
something wasn't clicking.
Yeah, that's what it seemed. But they did deliver a quality end in the home stretch, and Cargill secured her win once again. So she's undefeated, which we knew. I think we knew that would happen.
Yeah, we knew.
Kind of figured.
We knew she was going to win it, get the title.
So
keep her title, I'm sorry.
So the next match was the 4-way Ring of Honor World Championship match
between Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Claudio Castagnoli, and Daniel Bryan. Now, mind you guys, you guys already know, this is two teams fighting together. Well, not fighting together, like they're teams, but they have to fight as one is every man for himself type match. But
yeah. So Chris Jericho defended his title against fellow Jericho Appreciation Society member Sammy Guevara and Blackpool Combat Club members Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli. This was a great 4-way match that showcased guys that had close ties to each other, but they were able to put their friendship aside for a chance at the ROH World Championship. The wrestling veteran, Jericho, was able to clinch the win.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this coming as well.
Yeah, because I think they want to have Jericho going into the next Ring of Honor pay-per-view as the champion. So.
Oh, yeah.
Next match, we have Saraya and her return wrestling in-ring return. I'm sorry. We have Saraya in her in-ring wrestling return after 5 years. Remember, guys, she was forced to retire after a neck injury, which happened in 2017. So this is her match back and against Dr. Britt Baker. So
Baker took advantage of Saraya's injuries by repeatedly going for her neck. But Saraya fought back, and the action remained relatively even, despite the apparent ring rust, of course. Even though both were able to kick out of each other's signature moves, Saraya delivered consecutive rampages to pin for the win.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting.
I like the match.
Yes. So the next match was the TNT Championship match between
Wardlow, Samoa Joe, and Powerhouse Hobbs. This was big, meaty men slapping meat, huge Hoss match that everyone wants to see. The TNT champion Wardlow defended against, ROH TV champion Samoa Joe and Hobbs. We're going to get through this quick, guys. Samoa Joe, at the end of the match, Samoa Joe clocked Wardlow on the head as he was in the middle of the powerbomb symphony, giving all these power bombs to Hobbs. And after he clocked him, he got Hobbs and he put him in the coquina clutch. Coquina clutch, and he submitted Hobbs. So, and he became dual champion as well. TNT champion and the ROH TV champion.
Awesome.
Next match, we have the no DQ, no count-out match between. We have the no DQ match, Sting and Darby Allin versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal.
Sting and Jeff Jarrett came face to face once more as he paired with Jay Lethal to battle the Icon and Darby Allin. The babyfaces tried their best to battle the heels that gave them so much anguish leading up to this match. Sting and Jay Lethal battled through the crowds as Sting climbed to the top of a barricade and dove off onto Satnam Singh and Jay Lethal. Later, the heels scored the lead as Singh chokeslammed Sting. Allin went atop the ropes for a coffin drop, but Jarrett delivered a blow to his back with his guitar midair. Toward the end, Jay Lethal went in for a lethal injection, but Sting reversed it into a Stinger splash and delivered a scorpion death drop, while Allin added a coffin drop to score the win. Oh, that was a lot of action.
I like the ending. It was like Jay Lethal going for the lethal injection right into Sting's reversal into the death drop. Then Darby Allin for the top rope coffin drop. 1, 2, 3. Babyfaces got the win. So next match, we have the AEW Interim World Women's Championship match between Toni Storm and Jamie Hayter. Now, Hayter is a crowd favorite. She got organically over with the crowd in the coming weeks, just by her being so good in the ring. So she got the victory in this match. You have any notes you want to say about this match?
So Toni Storm went hard on her former roommate Jamie Hayter early on with consecutive hard hits. But Hayter followed up with a few hard blows of her own. Storm caught up, but her efforts were thwarted as Rebel hit her in the face with the women's title. Britt Baker also came ringside, and Hayter kicked out of Storm Zero. A hate breaker scored a 2 count, but Storm was still resilient. Baker interfered as she pulled the pad off the turnbuckle, and Hayter slammed Storm's face into it, scoring the win with the ripcord lariat. Action-packed, very anticipated match. And I think I kind of knew Jamie Hayter would win because
I feel like it was her time. She definitely needed the championship. She's real over with the crowd. She got a huge pop coming out. She got a huge pop winning the title. So I like the match. I like that Tony Khan listening to the fans because everybody wanted to see her win the match. So good choice, Tony Khan.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we have the AEW World Tag Team Championship match between the Acclaim and Swerve Strickland. And we have the Acclaim versus Swerve in Our Glory, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. I'm sorry.
It is confusing, the new name. The Acclaim's Max Caster and Anthony Bowens battled Swerve in Our Glory's Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland for the third time. Bowens was overcoming a shoulder injury, and the opponents used that as a target for their blows. In desperation, Swerve actually slapped Keith Lee, which caused Lee to just walk out.
This was after Swerve wanted Keith Lee to use the pliers to snip the fingers of Bowens, but he was like, "No, I can't win like this, man." And then they had a face off, and Swerve slapped him, and he said, "I'm out." He just left. He left Swerve to fight on his own. That's when the Acclaim got the victory.
Needless to say, Swerve and Keith Lee are done.
Yeah.
I don't think there's coming back. There's a way to come back from that. And that allowed the Acclaim to get ahead as they teamed up against the now solo Swerve.
Mm-hmm.
Despite him being the weakest link, Bowens was still able to withstand all the blows, and together with Max Caster got the win. Anything you wanted to add for that?
It's crazy seeing Bowens in a match when he's injured, but I'm glad they got the victory because it's still their time. Like, everybody loved the Acclaim. We loved the Acclaim. We kind of knew, Swerve and Keith, had like battles like where they, not really on the same page. And to see it happen last night, Full Gear, that they come to an end, I guess that's what.
Yeah, but it was much anticipated. We were looking forward to that match, for sure.
Finally, guys, the main event of the Full Gear card, MJF versus Jon Moxley. John was really like playing a heel role in this, and MJF was like babyface. The crowd was cheering him on. Playing as like he really is a babyface now. But new world champion MJF beats Jon Moxley after Ringo slides him the brass knuckles after like 2 rough bumps, guys. What a match.
And that revealed to the crowd and to us at home that MJF was in cahoots with William Regal.
After he said he don't need nobody, he wants to win his fair and square on his own. He said he didn't need a firm, but obviously he's still using his heel tactics.
He cheated. Oh my God.
Hit Jon Moxley right over the head with the brass knuckles, man.
He cheated, and I'm so disappointed in William Regal. As the leader of the Blackpool Combat Club, I really wanted them to go further.
Yeah.
I didn't want this to be the end for them.
I know.
So for him to switch up on them and change sides, it'll be interesting on Dynamite.
Yeah, to see like how it plays out. I can't wait to see Mox's reaction to like what this happened to this, and Danielson and Willer Yuta and Claudio. I can't wait to see the reaction to this the end of
because I think a lot of people invested into into them.
Mm-hmm.
So I just was really shocked that they just seemingly ended it like that. So guess we'll see what happens on Wednesday.
Guys, what a peer-per-view. It was good from top to bottom. To rate this show from 1 to 10, I said 9.
Yeah.
9. It was good. It was great, matter of fact. I'm sorry. 10 out of 10.
Oh, okay. It was very good.
It was good.
Yeah.
Guys, get in the comment section. Let us know what your favorite match was. Let us know like what you like. Yeah, just get in the comments. I'm sorry. Get in the comments. Let us know your favorite match of the night. What was the best thing that happened last night for you? And we'll reply back to you and stuff like that. So, guys, always remember to
like, comment, and share this video. Bye, guys.